hardest hit areas.
Several local conservancy groups say they are releasing up to $53 million in grants to help promote the health of the Great Salt Lake. The Office of the Great Salt Lake Commissioner says this money can fund projects in 3 categories. They include voluntary water transactions, system conservation projects, and ecosystem and habitat projects. Groups looking to get funding can submit applications until October 24th.
There are now 11 confirmed cases of
After access to the Bonneville Shoreline Trail in Utah County was restricted, now it's not anymore. After a KSL report. We'll tell you about that coming up on KSL-5 News at 6.
And a popular voting option on
tonight, changes to new restrictions on a popular trail.
I definitely was surprised to see some change.
Why hikers will no longer be charged to use this portion of the Bonneville Shoreline Trail weeks after a KSL report.
Music has a way on your phone. Well, new at 6, the state of Utah has reversed course after access to a popular trail in Utah County was restricted. KSL first brought this issue to light 2 weeks ago.
News specialist Daniel Woodruff is live in Utah County to explain why things are now changing. Daniel?
Well, it's coming now because of reaction to that story that we initially aired here on KSL. When we first reported on restricted access to the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, a lot of people had opinions about that. Now the state acknowledges that feedback has led to them partially putting things back the way they were.
I'm definitely kind of surprised.
When Kyle Burgess spoke up, he didn't really expect anybody would listen.
I definitely was surprised to see some change.
Kyle was out running on the Bonneville Shoreline Trail in Orem a few weeks ago when he was stopped by an officer who told him he needed a hunting or fishing license to be on the trail. That's because part of it falls in what's called a wildlife management area. And a new state law says any adult needs a license to access it.
I guess I gotta buy a fishing permit to run the trails.
He posted about it to Instagram and did an interview with KSL. The Utah Division of Wildlife Resources initially defended the change, but also heard from the public.
We had recent feedback.
Just days after KSL's report, the state decided to switch course.
We did get a lot of attention after some of the recent coverage.
Faith Heaton-Jolly with DWR says both the Bonneville Shoreline Trail and the Great Western Trail are open once again to runners, walkers, and bikers, no license needed. The state's Division of Outdoor Recreation going forward will manage and maintain the trails.
That will allow non-motorized access to the public who had used the trail previously.
I don't know what I was hoping for.
But Kyle thinks this is a good move. He's also pleased that his voice and others made a difference.
They do listen, hopefully, to what the people want.
Now, keep in mind, all this happened, again, because of that law that the state legislature passed just this past session. Today, I reached out to the lawmaker who sponsored that law that restricted trail access in the first place to ask what he thinks of this new solution now, but I never heard back. Back to you.
But they feel like their voices were heard. That's important. Daniel, thanks.
A traffic alert in Salt Lake.
Right now, Utah County investigators need our help finding this truck.
Yeah, they believe it's connected to shots fired at the Krishna Temple. Take a closer look here. Utah County Sheriff's Office wants to find the driver of this black truck and anyone else who may have been involved in the shooting of the Krishna Temple multiple days in a row last month. News specialist Aaron Cox has been following this case from day one. Aaron, what do you know?
Yeah, Mike and Deanie, this investigation is still very active, and the Utah County Sheriff's Office made a post on Facebook earlier today saying that state, federal, and local agencies are all involved in trying to figure out who exactly shot multiple shots at the Krishna Temple. Now, the Department of Public Safety, they're involved for different reasons.
The peace and safety felt in worship is everything the Utah Department of Public Safety hopes to preserve.
But we're going to walk you through making you feel less vulnerable and safe again.
Lieutenant Nick Street assesses threats with the Statewide Information and Analysis Center, or SIAC.
With our local law enforcement partners, we'll offer courses for everything from, how ushers at the establishment should greet guests, because that's an important part of security, to what they may need if there were like an active assailant.
SIAC also makes security recommendations, like what to do with lighting designs, building layouts, and the best places for cameras.
There's film that can be purchased cheaper than purchasing entire bulletproof windows,
which could help here. Towards the end of June, volunteers at the Krishna Temple in Spanish Fork heard gunshots on 3 separate days. They found bullet shell casings outside of their property and a bullet hole through their window. Lieutenant Street says SIAC can help for free and says there's even a movement to bring different faiths into an alliance to provide more security.
It's good to know that, people of varying faiths that have maybe a law enforcement or security background are stepping up to help other faiths in need.
Now, Lieutenant Street says they're going to know exactly how much federal funding they can give to the Krishna Temple coming in August. As they wait, the Utah County Sheriff's Office says an anonymous donor increased the reward amount from $1,000 to $10,000 for whoever can come forward and find who shot at the Krishna Temple. Mike and Deanie, back to you guys.
Yeah, it's great to know that SIAC will help out with some of those things for free. That's great information there. All right, thank you much, Aaron.
New developments tonight on a story with a year. New developments tonight in a story KSL was first to tell you about.
Yeah, a very popular Utah County trail back open to the public. No license required after the state reversed a controversial rule there. It started when runner Kyle Burgess was told that he needed a hunting or a fishing license just to use a section of Bonneville Shoreline Trail because it runs through a wildlife management area. Well, after public pushback, the state decided to change course.
I definitely was surprised to see some change. They do listen, hopefully, to what the people want.
Looks that way, doesn't it? Now both the Bonneville Shoreline Trail and the Great Western Trail are open. Once again, to runners, no license required. Streets of downtown Salt Lake are